perspective, do you think sustainability has always been ingrained with the cannabis industry, or when you look out at it, does it look more like traditional agriculture?
I would say traditional ag, indoor. They're all of it. I don't think the cannabis is any more or less sustainable than the other parts of the ag industry. I think people growing outdoors are very, very concerned about and try to steward the land they grow on, but often the practices they use, plowing is the main one, and use of chemicals to, not even chemicals, but just fertilizers. Lots of fertilizers, are not necessarily the best practices.
Mm-hmm.
They really want the land, they really want to take care of the land, but what they're doing aren't necessarily great sustainability practices. But they focus on that and talk about it and understand it. People growing in greenhouses and indoors, are still feeling their way through it. They're looking at making good products and are trying to do as best they can, but they're suffering from the same sort of thing. The technology to grow well indoors or in greenhouses is just beginning to get adopted. Monitoring the environment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in a sort of a 3D way. So knowing what's going on all across the facility, not just like where the thermometer is or where the humidistat is, or, those kind of things. You have to start being really careful about what you're doing in order to do it. Do it smart.
Yeah.
And cannabis has got a hangover from its the past 40 years. There are a lot of ingrained practices that may or may not be the best way to do things, that are sort of counter to what agricultural research has been showing over the past 40 years. But the cannabis industry is hesitant sometimes to take advantage of the learnings from the universities, the whole land grant university system, which researches growing things all day long, every day, and has been for 100 years. It may not have been with cannabis, but there's a lot of written stuff that's written, and I think the industry is a little bit hesitant. And the universities are put in a bind. They would like to be doing research to help out this new agricultural industry, cannabis and hemp, but they can't because they're fearful of their federal USDA fundings.
Yeah, in regions.
So if they can't, they're really hesitant to do plant touching research, which the industry sorely needs.